Who do you want to define you? Someone else or yourself? You know, like I tell people, whatever you do, man, give your heart to it and stay strong. Don't let nobody tell you that you can't do it. Because everybody have different journeys in life. We all have different journeys in life. You know what I mean? And it sucks. Sometimes you see friends that from back in high school that still stuck in the same ways, but you surpassed them. Welcome back to another episode of the Mendable podcast. I'm your boy G, and with my co-host Arturo.
You gonna make it.
Yeah.
Keep your head up. You're a king. You're a queen. Yeah. You got this. Sleepless grandma.
Yes, sir. Welcome to the Mendable podcast. I'm your host G. So first and foremost, I just want to thank God for another day, another day for us to better ourselves, another day for us to just look forward for more into this life, you know. And I'm here with the one and only Arturo. So today we decided we're back again, you know. We back on being consistent, delivering episodes. And today we're gonna do something that we're starting to create. And Miss Arturo here, he's gonna kind of just give you explanation what we're gonna be talking about today.
Yeah, so following the previous discussion we had on the last episode, where we sort of gave a recap on Jelson's accident and the kind of stuff that he learned, we sort of developed the topic of happiness and also success. So we decided to focus today's podcast on the topic of happiness, and if we do have enough time, we'll also talk about success. So so to start off topic on happiness, I wanted to start off can you give me your idea or a definition of what is happiness?
Happiness is for me, I could just give you a very simple and a simple definition. I think for me, I'll say happiness is not on the outside, it's on the inside. And I believe on my younger days, I was chasing happiness. I was more on the outside. It's like I had to show people or try to impress people to make me feel good inside.
Right. But before we get detailed about it, I think it's very important that we sort of give
it's just a definition.
Just a simple definition before we dive deeper into it.
So happiness is what you feel inside. Is not on the outside. What's internal, not external.
Right. So do you think it's subjective? Because if it's internal, then it's your perception of what you think happiness is.
Yes, because everybody have a different definition of happiness, because it's how you feel, what you need to do in order for you to feel good about yourself, or just be happy, be in a good mood. You know, what is the positive things that you need to do for you to feel positive, for you to feel happy. You know, so
right.
And like I said, it's what you feel inside.
Overall, we normally hear a lot of examples of happiness. There are certain types of happiness that every single one of us can relate to. Do you have examples that every one of us can relate, when we're feeling happy?
Right.
Do you have examples that you can provide?
Yeah, just when you just for example, when you say you're going to do certain things and you actually do it, you feel so good about yourself because I actually did what I said I was going to do. Right. That's part of being happy.
Right. So the the joy of fulfilling something that you committed to do.
Yes,
That's part of being happy.
it's just part of being happy.
Right.
And like me doing the 90-day challenge, the 90 days challenge of commitment, and actually following through every single day. Of course, some days are really tough, because life happens.
Yeah.
And but being able just to go through the motion, the days that you don't feel like it, and once you do on those days that you don't feel like it, when you lay down at night and you feel good about yourself because I pushed it through today. It was so hard, but I pushed it through. But the feeling inside, that what helps you build that confidence. And people don't know what is confidence is. Confidence is doing things that you say you're going to do. Being like honest with yourself. Like really just like being comfortable of who you are. That's happiness.
Right. So going back to what you were talking about earlier, you wanted to dive a little deeper in terms of like what your idea of happiness is. Can you first sort of dive a little deeper?
Yeah.
Provide examples as well.
To go a little deeper, like my whole idea of happiness is like I said, it's not external, it's internal, and I think a lot of people, they try to go look for items or things, material things,
right,
to make them feel happy. So
right.
either money, clothes, girls.
Why do you think those are the easiest thing to look for happiness in? Why do you think most people go for those things?
Because that's what we see, right? Because that's what we see: social media, outside, school, work.
So you think we grow up looking at these things as example to achieve in order to get this happiness that we're all seeking?
Yes, because if you don't have a definition for happiness for yourself, if you can't define happiness for yourself, then you're gonna tend to look elsewhere. What you see, that's what you're gonna think is happiness, because you don't really know what's going on with that person, but you see the outside. You don't see the inside. This is why they say, like, go look for your own happiness. Look what's inside of you.
Yeah, so what you're saying sort of goes back to the example when I hear about love.
Right.
The same example tends to be said about love, where a lot of people tend to seek love upon others,
right,
while they sort of forget to love themselves first before seeking that. Because without ever loving themselves, they'll never really learn to love others.
Yeah, and
because they don't know the idea of love.
And I remember when we started the podcast earlier, when we had a conversation for days.
Yes.
And we touched on the topic
self-love, self-acceptance.
Yeah. And it's really comes to that, like self-love, self-acceptance. That's when you can find the true happiness.
Right.
Because once you really start falling in love with yourself, knowing who you are, that's real love. That's real happiness, because you know what it takes to make you happy, because you know the type of person you are. You know the certain things that you want to do. That's when you say no or saying yes to anything that you're being asked. It's like it's automatically, because you know the type of person you are. You know what's a no for you. You know what's a yes for you. Now you're not answering any question. You're not doing anything to make anybody impress anybody or to make anybody feel good. You're doing that for yourself because you know that person. You know who you are. It's that self-love, knowing self-acceptance, knowing that person inside of you, knowing the feelings. If I make this decision, this is how it's going to make me feel. If I make this decision, this is how I'm going to feel. But I want to feel happy.
Right.
Always, I want to feel in this mood, but I already know what it takes for me to be in this mood, happy. Because if I do this and this and that, of course, it takes time, right? You gotta go through life. Life happens. There's a lot of battles that you have to face. There's a lot of, that's why people go into like mental health. Mental health is huge, and I can speak on mental health. I've been depressed before. I've been to many accidents before, right? And for you to get back up and to start just being positive again, because there's so many bad things happen to you, and you start like looking around like this is how my life is gonna be. But if you know you're the person who overcomes so many bumps along the way, and you know the what makes you happy, and if you just get back up and start heading in the road where you know is familiar to you, what the road where you find happiness. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's just getting back to what I do every day, my routine. Getting back to my goals, getting back to work on myself. The progress, it really makes me happy. That's my happiness. When I see myself progressing, when I see myself getting better and better each and every day, that's what makes me happy.
Right.
When I see myself taking care of my family, when I see myself being a better husband, a better father, a better friend, a better brother, a better, just everything around me, and just looking forward for another day so I can work on myself, and inspire those around me. Because your success could be somebody else's success. You know what I mean? And once you seeing...
What do you mean by that statement? Your success could be someone else's success?
Meaning like your improvements, your accomplishments could move somebody to do the same.
You mean like inspired?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just in other words.
Yeah.
Your accomplishments, anything that you accomplish big that in your life, it could inspire somebody else. That's what I say. Your success could be somebody else's success.
Right. So obviously, before we started this podcast, I did some research on happiness, and I did take some examples in terms of like the signs of happiness. So I'll go through a list of them, and you tell me exactly. You just elaborate further on that point, whatever it is that I bring up. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So their types. This is not it. Okay. So some how should I say, ways to be happy. I think you mentioned one of them. It's basically saying pursue intrinsic goals. Can you elaborate further on that?
Pursue intrinsic goals?
Yes. Intrinsic.
It's that again?
Intrinsic goals.
What do you mean by that?
It's basically goals that come from within. So I'll elaborate a little bit further on that. So it's basically where you focus on personal growth and community, something that you find deeply meaningful to you, not something that you were inspired by someone else. Comes deep from within you.
Yeah. So something kind of like what I do on a regular basis, like just really high motivating to developing myself to get to the level I want to get to my visions, right? So I see this big picture where I see the type of person I want to become, and every day that I wake up, I just want to, it's this picture, this is the vision where I want to get to, and I know the things that I need to do every day for me to get to this vision. So, and when I see myself progressing and each and every day becoming that person, it makes me feel good about myself. That's happiness.
Okay, moving on to the next point. Enjoying the moment.
Enjoying the moment, I think it's just when you embrace.
We did have the discussion last time, and we did talk about how after the accident you sort of went through a period of reflection, right, and where you sort of you came to realize certain things that were really precious to you and the other things that weren't, right? Now that you sort of gone through that, and now that you sort of know what's precious to you, you sort of enjoy the moment a little more than before, because before you're so focused on other things and not really focusing on the precious things, the thing that makes you the happiest. So that's an example.
This is enjoying the moment.
Yes. It's just the little things.
Yeah.
But I can read a little bit further on that.
Yeah,
So people focus on accumulating things that they lose track of actually enjoying what they're actually doing. So focus on practicing gratitude for the things that you have around and enjoying the process as you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next one is reframe negative thoughts.
In other words, how to
Not exactly. So the point of that point is basically a lot of happiness revolves around the perception of how we see things, how we perceive things, right? So most of the time, whenever something bad happens, we immediately have negative thoughts about that experience because it does not make us happy. But if we reframe that experience in a positive way, seeing how it could better you, for example, you always give the example of what was it? Okay, this is not exactly what you said, but I'm just gonna use another example. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? So say, for example, you went through a terrible accident and it didn't kill you. You learned a lot from that experience, so you came out a stronger individual because of that experience. Now you're much more, how should I say, much more cautious. You take better care of yourself in terms of sleeping enough, so that when you're on the road, you have enough energy to get home safely, and that kind of thing. So that's an example of sort of like reframing whatever negative experience that you go through in a positive way, and where you
learning from your mistakes.
Yes, pretty much. Or say, for example, you're an athlete, right? You lose a game, a very close game, right? But you don't look at it in a negative way in terms of like, oh, this is the end. We're not gonna come back next year and win the championship.
It's interesting you say that because I remember, I think my first year I'm playing the basketball. My first year in college, playing the basketball team. And one of my teammates, first year too, he's a rookie, right? So I think it was those exhibition games, and we came down to a close game, and he took the shot. So I soon he took the shot to win the game, but he missed the shot. It was interesting that the coach came to him and told him that it's okay. You just became a better player. You're a better player now because you were in a position to win a game, and you know what it takes to win that game. Because next time you take that shot, you might make it because you know what it takes to get that shot, how much focus you need to take that shot. But you gotta go through to that experience. You know what I mean? And I think the most famous Michael Jordan quote, he said, I missed as many shots that I don't remember. But nobody saw how much shot that I took or I missed, but they saw the ones that count. You know what I mean? Because you had to fail over and over. And every time you fail, you're just gaining experience. You're getting closer to that goal.
Right.
It's like failing, it's not like you didn't know how to do it. You just needed to find another way how to do it.
Yeah, sometimes most of us have this terrible habit where if things don't go our way, we have a terrible way of sort of coping with it. But if we reframe that experience in a positive way, in terms of like just taking something away in which if you were to go through that situation again, the results will be different. Or yes, you might have lost something, but you gained something in return as the experience itself. Right. So it's like looking at that situation and seeing and saying, I might not have gotten the results that I wanted, but I got something in return that I'm happy with. Right? I guess keep going through the same thing, but you must fail in order to learn.
Yes.
All right. So moving on to the next point, it's basically get regular exercise.
Get regular exercise. So you have to take care of your body. Take care of your body, your mind. Because if you don't take care of your body, because your body is a bigger part of your confidence. You know, just when it comes to like mentally, it really has to do with a lot of physical. When I say I want to be mentally fit, spiritually fit, physically fit. Physically, it's like the main one that you gotta focus on. Of course, some people really want to get huge, big, shredded, but that's not the main thing. Of course, if you have goals to get to that, of course, if that's what makes you happy, then yes. But being physically fit, it just meaning just taking care of yourself, taking care of your body, because it plays a big part of happiness. It just makes you feel good about yourself.
Right.
And it creates so much energy for yourself to look forward in life, to do the stuff that you love. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to be what you see is be that picture of the vision, the person you want to be. You work towards that. If you can only do jogging and running, stick to that. If that makes you happy. Because I met so much people that hate going to the gym. And one of my advice that I give to those people is just say, find something you like to do. If you like to play soccer, that's exercise. That's taking care of your body. You know what I mean? That's hitting your heart rate and running. Anything that you love dancing, that's exercise. And it doesn't have to be in the gym. You know what I mean? That's what everything that I do every day, right? In the morning, doing those clips or whatever. And it really plays a big part of my self-development and me being happy. You know what I mean? Me doing the meal plans, me not eating junk food and stuff like that. It plays a big part because I know when I'm not doing those things, mentally I'm not always there because I know what makes me happy. I know what makes me feel good about myself.
I know.
Looking
Yep.
good.
Yeah, you too. Okay,
It's part of feeling good. You know what I mean? You want to look good, you got to take care of yourself.
Right. There's an important thing to highlight when it comes to our body. There is a term called homostasis. It's basically the balance. It's just an overall balance in your with your body. That includes your mental health, your physical health, and everything else included, right? And so sometimes we sort of tend to forget that both the mental and the physical need to be balanced. And if something is out of balance, that affects your level of happiness. Because your level of happiness, the internet tends to define your happiness as like an overall satisfaction of your mental state, right? And your mental state does include your physical state as well. So if something is out of whack, then you're not happy. Exactly. So it's very important to keep everything balanced. And part of being balanced is getting that physical exercise, because that's going to affect most of your body. And if that's not balanced, then you're not going to be as happy as you should. So that was an example. All right. So the next point is show gratitude.
Show gratitude. You can just be thankful. Be thankful for everything that you have, even if you don't have as more the people around you. Be grateful, because you never know when is your time. You never know when more blessings coming your way. You never know when you're just about to get promoted. When you're just about to find a woman of your life. When you're just about to graduate from something that you were working so hard for a couple years. Just be grateful every day that you wake up. It's another day for you to look forward in life. And then I say that every time. Every morning message that I do on social media. It's just another day, another day for us to better ourselves. Another bless. God is great. Because I'm thanking God, it's like a short prayer. I'm thanking God for waking me up, because not so many people gets to wake up in the morning to go and do what they love, and me to go and do and work on myself every day and pushing myself. I'm thankful, even if I don't have the things that I want. Those things are coming, but I'm just thankful to be here. Life is hard, but it's worth it.
Yeah, I think sometimes, well, most often, just because of what we talked about earlier, we sort of get distracted by the things that we see on the media, right? The celebrities
nowadays
and everything.
it's so hard. Like, sorry to cut you off. Like, it's so hard. It is so hard. So many shiny objects, right? So many shining objects, and a lot of people really get it twisted because they think that's gonna make them happy. And you know what happens once they get it? They realize that's not happiness. You know what I mean? I found it the hard way because when I was on the growing up, in high school, I had the nicest shoes, different shoes, clothes. I remember when I started like working, making money. I was buying everything I want, but it just seems like I wasn't happy. I wanted to buy more and more and more. And the more I buy, it's just like, hey, this is really what it is. Like, it's just buying to try to impress. You know what I mean? To make me, when people say, yo, my shoes. Yo, what's up, man? You know, where'd you get that? And you feel like that pride because you're the only one that have the nicest shoes. And you really get it twisted and you really think that's happiness. Right. You know what I mean? And why? Because that's what you see. Everybody competing against each other. Yo, I got nicer shoes than you. My shoes are more nice than you. Look at me, man. I'm dripping. You know, I'm swaggy. But you get it twisted. That's not happiness. It's like what really you feel inside. You know, what makes you feel happy.
All right. So the last point that we have on the list is find a sense of purpose. And I'm sure this relates a lot to you because you talk a lot about purpose.
Yeah.
So go ahead, if you don't mind elaborating.
Yeah. So finding something that you can live for, you know, because once you really find that thing, that's like what you live for. Why do you wake up in the morning to do what you do every single day? That's when you're gonna find happiness, the real happiness, the true happiness. Because once I found what I love, the Sleepless were more routine. Once I started doing the routine, I started really getting to know myself. Started to just see the main purpose in life. Just starting to see what do I want to be in life? What do I want in life? Just started seeing what do I want, you know. And the more you educate yourself, the more you read, the more you striving to be a better person, you will find that purpose. You will find your true calling. You know, that what you need to do to accomplish that purpose, or to live in that purpose. What kind of person you need to be. You know what I mean? I really feel like I found that thing, and there's no any other thing that if you stand for nothing, then you fall for anything. You know what I mean? And like once you find the one thing, you're now gonna fall for anything else because you have that one thing, which is your purpose, your main thing. That's what you live for. That's what you wake up. That's what you look forward to. Every day is a chance for you to better yourself, and bettering yourself while you focus on that one thing, the main thing, your purpose. You know what I mean? And I put this clip out there on social media, and a short clip I also put on YouTube. I said, do you really think I'm gonna take 10 minutes out of my time to give you these clips every single morning, to give you a video of me working out, to give you a video of me, like, you know, playing with my daughter, give you a video just showing you what I do, my meal plans? You really think I'm just gonna take out my time for that for nothing? No, that's not for nothing, because I'm trying to show you, look, I can do it. This is my life. I really do this. This is what I look forward. This is my plan. That's my strategy to my purpose, the bigger picture, the vision. You know, I have this main thing that I want, the type of person that I want. And like I said, your success can be someone else's success. You can inspire somebody because of the accomplishment that you made in your life. That is purpose. Once you find that one thing, you start accomplish goals after goals and just getting assignments done after assignments done. Guess what you're doing? You're building just confidence. Whatever that's thrown at you, you're able to fight back. You know, you're able to fight back because you have all this strength. Because you've been just striving to be a better person. And you know it's going to take so many hits, so many punches that you have to duck. And some of the punches you have to take it so you can feel it, how hard it is, how painful it is. And then, you know what? And then fight back. Eventually, you're going to win this fight. You know what I mean? You're going to win this fight. And you're going to be able to keep moving forward in life, because that's what life is all about, moving forward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision and be comfortable with this decision, because there's no going back. There's no, oh, let me out. No, you can't get out. You made a decision. What is your decision? You want to be the average person like everybody else, just stuck on their old ways, don't want to find a better way, don't want to find answers. Or you want to make a decision to keep moving forward in life and find that thing, find your passion, find your greatness, find your peace of mind. Be comfortable on your own skin, be comfortable who you are. Finding that passion, that's true happiness. But sometimes it's not that easy as we speak. Happiness is not that easy as we speak. Yo, this makes me happy. Eating an apple, that's my favorite food. Eating rice and beans, that's my favorite food. That's what makes, no. You really gotta like search of who you are, what makes you happy. Like one thing at a time. You know, it takes small steps every single day. It's like what I'm saying right now, all these things that I'm saying right now, is like, oh, this guy sounds smart. This guy sounds like he has a lot of experience. Yes, because I've been doing this every day. Just like searching for answers, searching for knowledge, for wisdom. You know what I mean? And the best teacher in life is your own experience. None of us know who we are until we fail. They say every man is defined by his reaction to any given situation. But who's you? Who's you? Who do you want to define you? Someone else or yourself? You know, like I tell people, yo, whatever you do, man, give your heart to it and stay strong. Don't let nobody tell you that you can't do it. Because everybody have different journeys in life. We all have different journeys in life. You know what I mean? And it sucks. Sometimes you see friends that from back in high school that still stuck in the same ways, but you surpass them. But in your mind, it's like, yo, should I go back up and hold their hands so they can come so I can bring them to the same level I am? Some people you can't. You gotta let them where they are because they made a decision to stay there. They're comfortable with that. If you do what's easy, your life will be hard. If you do what's hard, your life will be easy. Meaning like fighting back. Some people don't want to fight back. They're comfortable what they are. You know what I mean?
Right. So I'm a very visual person. So when I look at a statement like find a sense of purpose, I like to create visuals to give myself better examples in terms of what that means. So every single one of us is afraid of the unknown, right? And in order to cope with that fear, we try to convince ourselves that we sort of know what's coming, or we sort of try to find answers to make ourselves feel safe, right? Because without it, we're in a constant state of fear, we're in a constant state of anxiousness or anxiety because we just don't know. And that fear and that anxiety produces a lot of stress, which shortens our lifespan because we're not happy, because we're constantly fearing what's going to take place the next day, the next month, or the next year. So that heavily limits your happiness. right? And another way I like to look at it is religion. Right? A lot of people tend to go with religion because it gives them a sense of hope, a sense of happiness, knowing what's going to take place in the future. Because it's not only themselves, where they're just by themselves. There's a group of people that sort of have the same idea, the same ideology in terms of like, if they were to do this, then they're sort of promised this future, and that sort of gives them happiness. So I guess another way is you gotta give yourself some sort of directions, right? Because without any direction, you're stagnant and you're not moving. And if you're just stagnant, then you're not happy because you don't have anywhere to go. You don't know what you're going to do. So that's how I look at it, finding a sense of purpose. Yeah. All right. So those are the, I guess, signs or ways to be happy. But I've also did some research in terms of what are some of the challenges that come, how should I say, that come to block your way towards finding happiness or gaining happiness. So I'm gonna list some of those points, and you're just gonna give me or elaborate on the point a little further. So one of the points that challenge in finding happiness is valuing the wrong things. We sort of talked about earlier how the media, celebrities, and everything else distracts us with the idea of the material things, and where we should focus on the things that are precious to us, something like our family, friends, and other things as well. So can you elaborate further on valuing the wrong things?
The wrong things. Just like when you're not focused on the things that you need to be focused on. That's the wrong things automatically.
What does that mean? The things you're not supposed to be focused on?
Meaning like, if you have a goal to be in shape, but you're so focusing on like watching TV every day, and you know that's hurting your goals, that's hurting you on the inside, because you know what you need to do, you know what I mean? But you're focusing on watching TV because
I would disagree with that, because you know what the thing that you're doing is a valuable thing, right? But you're distracted by other things. But the point here is the wrong things, where you have a high aspiration for this thing, but you don't know it's wrong. That's why it's valuing the wrong things. Because if you knew it was wrong, you wouldn't go after it, right?
Maybe I understand wrong. So, say that again. What is that?
So I can elaborate further. So the point is valuing the wrong things, and then I wrote something in below. It's basically overvaluing things like money, status, and material possessions.
Yeah, like can we say thinking having money is gonna make you happy, or showing like you have money? That's valuing the wrong things?
Yes.
Or showing like you have money? Or lying that you have money? Or putting yourself in a very bad position just to show others that...
I guess this point...
Or like trying to be someone else that you're not yourself?
Yes and no. So I guess this point more so relates to a younger person who hasn't experienced as much, hasn't really gone through it all, in order to come to the realization that these things are really not important, and these things are external, not internal.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it makes more sense when you're not focusing on the inside, you focus on the outside.
Yeah, but
that's just the wrong things.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame younger individuals for going through this.
Because they needed to go through that, right?
Yeah.
I said for me, I needed to go through that.
Not necessarily. Like I said before, there are certain types of experiences where you don't necessarily need to go through to learn it, as long as you become observant and actually listen to your elders' experiences, so you could avoid making the same mistakes that they did.
Knowing the answers of your questions.
Yes, these things, like overvaluing the wrong things, have been portrayed in a lot of movies and a lot of TV shows. So it's the kind of things that you as a young person can sort of be on alert for and sort of avoid making those mistakes. But then again, it is hard, but it's not impossible.
Right.
Alright, so the next one is sort of easy. It's not seeking social support.
Yeah. Looking for validation?
No.
Social support?
No.
Elaborate more on that.
So this one is quality is more important than quantity. So it's basically stating that sometimes we sort of overvalue independence, where we think we can take on the world by ourselves and without really relying upon the support from our inner circle.
Okay.
We try to do everything by ourselves, right? Without realizing that help is essential. Is one of those things that helps you get over the edge whenever things are too tough and you don't see any way out, right? So
yeah, like the support system. It's very important. Just having a support system. When you feel down, when you feel you need the help, when you feel you want to hang out, when you go into depression, when you mentally feel weak, having that support system, having somebody that can show you a way to make your life easier, even like a work or a school, just having friends that would be willing to help you with your homework, friends that are gonna come and put a hand over your shoulder and tell you, look, it's okay, you failed this test, you know what I mean? You just gotta study. Now I'm gonna study with you. And just having that support system, because we all sometimes think that we're so strong that we can accomplish anything by ourselves. That's not true. Eventually you're gonna break down and you need that help. You know what I mean? That's part of being happiness, knowing that's part of being knowing who you are, knowing when you need the help, knowing when you need to call someone to talk about what you feel in the inside.
right, just going back to one of the previous episodes that we had, I believe it was called Interdependent. Is basically where you strive for a balance between being an independent person and a dependent person, because we all know that sort of like you sort of need to know when to be independent and you need to know when to be dependent upon others, because again, we can't all do by ourselves and we can't depend too much on others. There is a healthy balance between the two, and that's what we all should strive for. Okay, moving on to the last one. One of the challenges is thinking of happiness as an endpoint.
Can you speak on that?
Right, so this one it's sort of like the essential thing that everyone has to understand when it comes to happiness, where it's not this one goal that once we achieve it, we'll have happiness forever. Like the cartoons, whenever the movie ends and they live happily ever after, that's not necessarily the case. Happiness is like an up-down scale type of thing. Whenever you look at your YouTube analytics and stuff like that, you see the graph with the waves. That's basically happiness, right? And you have to find ways. You have to get to know yourself in order to learn how to cope with your ups and downs. That's when you seek your social support. That's when you find a sense of purpose. Every single day. And it never ends, right? It basically, you're good? And it never ends. It keeps going on and off, on and off. So your goal is basically just to find a balance, because you're not always going to be 100% happy. Sometimes you're going to be like 50%, sometimes you're going to be way low, but it's always trying to find that healthy balance, or finding whatever it is that's bothering you and addressing it so that you can go back to find that balance. You have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, man, you said it all. I think I did elaborate earlier too on the same concept when finding true love for in life. Like some people are sports, some people are dance, some people are business, and once you find that one thing, it changes everything.
Right, so this one sort of goes back to psychology in terms of like, it's called the Maslow hierarchy of needs. We sort of brought this point up when we had the episode with Conversation for Days. I think I'm the one who brought up the point, but I thought it would be important to sort of bring this point up.
Okay.
And it basically states that people are motivated to pursue increasingly complex needs. So once more basic needs are fulfilled, people are then motivated by more psychological and emotional needs. So by that term, it's basically stating that your basic needs sort of includes like security, shelter, money, and other things. They're very basic, right? Once you sort of fulfill those needs, then your next need become a little bit more complex, a little bit much more, how should I say, much more whatever it is that you are at that point, at that stage of your life.
Yeah.
Right? It's no longer what everyone else seeks, but it's very personalized to whatever it is that you're seeking, whatever it is that you're searching.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right. So, those are my thoughts on happiness. I have nothing else to share. Again, I just wanted to give a brief definition of what happiness is. It is an emotional state characterized by joy, satisfaction, contentment, fulfillment. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I think we're gonna stop here today.
Yeah, before we go to that, I sort of forgot to mention a couple of points. Again, some of the signs of happiness is you're living the life you wanted. The conditions of your life are good. You have accomplished or will accomplish what you want in life. And the last couple of points is you're satisfied with your life and you're feeling positive more than negative.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep. And make sure you subscribe, like, and share, because there's a lot of people who need to see this, hear the message. A lot of people who are looking for answers. Like I said, if you're looking for answers, you have questions, you should be searching for answers, you know, reading book, listening to podcasts, anything that you feel that is important for your own good, for your own benefit, just to find knowledge. Because the more knowledge you find, the more wisdom you create for yourself, the more you get to know yourself, you know. Stay tuned for more, and we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.